All right, guys, on this video, I'm gonna try to show you how to easily graph your sine and cosine functions. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a table that I'm gonna use every single time that has my thetas and my f of thetas on it. The basic ones that I know fairly easily, okay? So we start at 0 pi, or 0. At 0, the sine of 0 is 0. And then we go to pi over 6, and that gives us 1/2. And then we go to pi over 2, and that gives us 1. And then we go to, that's 3 over 6, 4, 5 pi over 6, and that's 1/2. And then we go to pi, which is 0. And then we go to 7 pi over 6, which is going to be, again, negative 1/2 this time. And then we go to negative 3 pi, 3 pi over 2, which is negative 1. And then we're going to go to 11 pi over 6, which is going to be negative 1/2. And then we go to 2 pi, which is 0. So really all I'm doing is I'm talking about where the points are on the graph. We go 0, 0, pi over 6, 1/2, pi over 2, 1, 1/2, 0. So it's the same graph that you guys have already done a few times. I'm just telling them to you as like a table. So this is what we just did, what we just described in this table, okay? So now what's going to happen here is on our table, we're going to multiply all of these numbers, our output numbers, we're going to multiply them by A. And that's our vertical stretch or whatever. So let me give you an example problem. Our example problem is going to be f of theta equals 4 sine of 3 theta plus pi over 2, actually pi over 3 plus 4. No, I want to use a different number, plus 9. Okay, so I'm going to go times theta on all of these, okay? Or sorry, times 8 on all of these, which A is 4. So 0 times 4 is 0. 1/2 times 4 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. 1/2 times 4 is 2. 0 times 4 is 0. Negative 1/2 is negative 2. Negative 4, negative 2, 0. And that's our first step. Our second step is that we're going to add the D value. And D on this one is 9. So I'm just going to take all these numbers and I'm going to add 9. 0 plus 9, 2 plus 9, 4 plus 9, 2 plus 9, 0 plus 9, negative 2 plus 9, negative 4 plus 9, negative 2 plus 9, 0 plus 9. So now I have all of my outputs on this function. And now I'm going to do the inputs. So the inputs, we're going to go minus C. So we always subtract the C. So my C value is pi over 3. So this is going to be negative pi over 3. And that's pi over 6 minus 2 pi over 6 is negative pi over 6. That is 3 pi over 6, and 2 pi over 6 is pi over 6. And that 5 and 2 is 3 pi over 6 is pi over 2. Pi is 3, so it's going to be 2 pi over 3. 7 and 2 is going to be 5 pi over 6. 3 is 9. 2 is 7 pi over 6. 11 and 2 is 9 pi over 6, which is 3 pi over 2. 2 pi is 6. Well, 6 thirds is 1 is 5 pi over 3. And then we're going to divide these numbers by our B. So our B on this is 3. So we're gonna multiply by 1/3. So we're gonna get negative pi over 9, negative pi over 18, pi over 18, pi over 6, 2 pi over 18, which is pi over 9, 5 pi over 36, no, sorry, 18, come on, Latimer, 7 pi over 18, 2 pi over 3, 2 pi over 2, 5 pi over 9. So what we would actually graph are these values right here. So these are the values that we would actually want to graph on our graph. So this is my new input and this is my new output. And I'll show you guys some more of this when we come to class. And I'll also go over the cosine example as well.